Hey 7th graders, this is Mr. Habercorn. How is everyone doing? Here's our first math video. We're going to talk a little bit how things are going to work. So every single day, you're going to get your math notebook. You're going to write down your name on the top. You're going to write down the date, which today is going to be 9/9/20. And then you're going to write POD, which means problem of the day. So every day you're going to have a problem of the day, you're going to write it down and give it a try, and then I'm going to give you the answers for it, okay? So here's our first problem of the day. X plus 5 equals 8. So write all this down, and then I want you to pause the video and solve this problem. So go ahead and do that, hit pause. All right, so I'm guessing you paused the video and you gave this a shot to try to figure out what it was. So we're trying to figure out what this letter is, this X. X is called a variable. It's just a letter, and it stands for a number. And if you put 3, you got it correctly. So 3 plus 5 equals 8, right? So your answer would be X equals 8, right? So these are called equations, and they're algebra equations, which means they have a variable, right? So that is your problem of the day for today. After your problem of the day, right below that, I'm going to draw a line, and you're going to write notes for the day. Notes for 9/9/20. And our notes are going to be really short and simple today. We're going to learn how to do these equations, and they're called addition and subtraction equations. So write our objective for the day is addition and subtraction equations. And I'm going to move fast, but you can hit pause on the video anytime you need to stop to write something down. So go ahead and pause this and write it down. Okay. All right, so things we need to know. A variable is a letter that stands for a number. An equation is just a math problem with an equal sign. That's what the equa stands for, equals. And it has a variable, which we already know is a letter, right? So it's just a math problem with a letter and an equal sign. That's it. That's what that word equation means. All right. So moving on, we're going to learn how to solve two kinds of equations: addition equations and subtraction equations. So I'm going to write them down and we're going to solve them. All right? And I want you to write all of this down too. So you may need to hit pause and write that down. X plus 4 equals 13. We're going to solve that. And I'm going to tell you the steps for solving these equations. The first thing we're going to do is called draw a line. That's not really a step, but we're going to do it. Some teachers won't have you do this, but I'm going to have you do it. So there's your line. Draw your line. Step 2 is, or this is actually step 1, is do the inverse operation. And all that means is do the opposite. So I have x plus 4. What's the opposite of plus 4? Minus 4, right? So below this, I'm going to write minus 4. And then the next step. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. So what that means is I did minus 4 on this side, I'm going to write minus 4 over here. You may need to pause and write this down. And finally, solve it. So what's 4 minus 4? Nothing, right? So we write nothing. All we have left over here is the letter x. Bring down my equal sign, and then do 13 minus 4, which is 9. So my answer is x equals 9. Okay, let's look at another one. You may need to pause it and write that down. Y minus 5 equals 11. Just look right here, it tells you how to do it. Do our line. Line always goes through the equal sign. Inverse operation. What's the inverse of minus 5? Is plus 5. We do it to one side, we do it to the other. So I wrote it on both sides. You know, 11 plus 5 is 16. Negative 5 plus 5 is nothing, right? Or 5 minus 5, it's still nothing, so we don't write it. Then just bring down my letter and circle it. Y equals 16. Okay, we're going to look at one that's backwards. And it works the exact same way. 12 equals x plus 4. We still do the same thing. We draw our line, and our line always goes through the equal sign. So this time my line's over here. I'm going to do the inverse operation, or the opposite. What's the opposite of plus 4? Minus 4. Next step, whatever you do to one side, that's right, do to the other. And we just solve it just like before. 4 minus 4 is nothing. We don't need to write the 0. Bring down our variable. And then 12 minus 4 is 8. Now this one's backwards. It says 8 equals x. We're just going to flip that. And there's a reason for it. You don't need to know that reason now, but you'll need it later. So x equals 8. All right. So if you need to pause it and write down, make sure you have everything written down in your notes. It's going to help you when you do your work later. In the assignment, they're going to look just like these. So you're going to do the same exact thing. So use your notes, give them a try, and we will see you on Thursday morning in the meeting. All right? Take care and have a great day, 7th grade.